Welcome to the Mindful Practice Podcast, a space for physicians navigating burnout, identity shifts, and career change without pressure or judgment. I'm your host, Dr. Bertina Hooks, a board-certified internal medicine physician, coach, and writer. Here we talk honestly about what it means to build a sustainable career and a life beyond medicine and survival. Redefining success after medicine. When success quietly stops working. Hello, and welcome to the Mindful Practice Podcast. I'm Dr. Bertina Hooks. And today we're going to talk about redefining success. There comes a moment for many physicians where success stops being successful. Not because you failed, not because anything blew up, but because something inside you went quiet. On paper, everything looks right. The training, the credentials, the career. You did what you were supposed to do. And yet, there's this subtle but persistent feeling. Is this it? Not dramatic despair. Not crisis. Just a quiet misalignment you can't ignore anymore. This episode is for that moment. That moment when you realize the definition of success you inherited, the one you worked so hard to achieve, may no longer fit the person you've become. Today we're talking about redefining success after medicine. Not rejecting your past, not erasing your work, but maybe asking for the first time whether the version of success you've been living by is still serving you. The success script we were given. Medicine gives us a very clear success script. Success looks like more training, more responsibility, more productivity, more endurance. There was always a next rung, the next exam, the next title, the next leadership role, the next benchmark. And early on, that clarity feels safe. You always know what counts. You always know how you're being evaluated. You always know what comes next. But here's the part we rarely examine. This definition of success is external. It's measured by approval, output, comparison, visibility. It leaves almost no room for internal data. No one asks, how does your body feel? How is your nervous system holding up? Is your life actually livable? Medicine doesn't ask whether success feels good. It asks whether you can handle more. And many of us could, until we couldn't. When the metrics stop working. For many physicians, there's a moment when the metrics break. It might happen after making partnership, finishing training, landing the dream job, finally earning the income you've chased for years. You reach the milestone, but instead of relief, you feel pressure, numbness, or dread that doesn't make sense. I hear this from physicians all the time. I should be happy. I worked so hard for this, Other people would kill for this job. But that should becomes heavy. Because when success stops working, we don't question the definition. We question ourselves. Think about that. We assume everything must be wrong with me. I must be ungrateful. I must be burned out or weak. But often, what's really happening is simpler and harder. The external definition of success no longer matches your internal reality. The goals that once energized you now feel distractive. The rewards feel transactional. The pace feels incompatible with the life you want to live. This isn't failure, it's information. Important signals that you need to acknowledge. It's your system saying, we need new metrics. We need to take into account that external data. The emotional cost of questioning success. Defining success sounds empowering in theory. In practice, it can be destabilizing. Because success in medicine isn't just professional, it's personal. It's tied to your identity, your worth, your belonging, your safety. If you question success, you risk disappointing others, losing status, invalidating years of sacrifice. And there's grief here. Grief for the younger version of you who believed, if I just get there, everything will be okay. Letting go of that belief doesn't mean you were wrong. It means that belief did its job for a season. And now you're in a different season. That transition deserves compassion, not judgment. Money, status, and fear. Now it's time for us to take a deep dive and talk about money, status, and fear. We have to talk about money because money is where redefining success gets real. Medicine teaches us quietly but powerfully that income equals worth, that earning less means becoming less, that stepping back is dangerous. I see physicians stay in misaligned roles, not because they love them, but because they're afraid. They're afraid of losing financial identity, explaining income changes to the family, letting go of prestige, and admitting they want less. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Money can keep you trapped in a version of success that no longer fits you. Not because money is bad, because fear gets wrapped around it. Redefining success doesn't mean rejecting financial stability. It means asking honest questions. What am I trading this income for? What am I protecting? What is enough for me? Not culturally, not comparatively. Success that costs your health, peace, or sense of self is still a cost, and pretending otherwise is expensive. I wanted to share as a coach how I have worked recently with a physician who reached out to me, and Because they were interested in utilization management, they actually had been working as a physician advisor for a few months while still working full-time clinically. Then they were offered a job with a full-time insurance company, which is corporate. When they did that, they didn't want to let go of the full-time clinical job, even though they had some experience in utilization management and knew to a certain extent what the day-to-day life was like. When I asked them the question, why are you holding on to the full-time clinical job? They said to me, I don't know if I will like the non-clinical job, which is a fair realization. Maybe this job or accepting the full-time utilization management job is not right for them at this time. Even though they have explored utilization management part-time, they still may not be able to let go of the full-time clinical role because it aligns more with their values, or their definition of success is still tied to compensation. Whatever it is, you need to be reflective and look at things like this because success is different for each individual. And you need to define success for you. And that takes understanding who you are and what your core values are. Once you understand that, you'll be able to find a role that will be better aligned with those core values. And that's what really success is about. Fulfillment and satisfaction in your job is aligning your core values with a role that you are taking. If that role doesn't fit your core values or definition of success, then you shouldn't pursue it. What you'll be doing is pivoting into another career that is misaligned, which will lead to burnout. Think about it. What success can look like after medicine? Here's the shift that changes everything. Success after medicine becomes internal before it becomes external. It starts with how your life feels, not how it looks. For some physicians, success becomes working fewer hours, practicing differently, saying no or setting boundaries without guilt. For others, it could be hybrid careers, non-clinical roles, parallel interests, creative or entrepreneurial paths. For many, success means stability, presence in your daily life with yourself and with your loved ones. And most importantly, success should be enough. I want to say this clearly. There's no morally superior version of success. Staying is not better than leaving. Leaving is not braver than staying. Earning more is not necessarily wiser than earning less. The only question that matters is, does this version of success support the life I want to live now? Practical reframing, new metrics. Let's talk about reframing success in a way that's usable, not aspirational, not abstract. Here are new metrics many physicians find grounding. Instead of, how impressive is this? Ask, how sustainable is this? Instead of, what will people think? Ask, how does my body respond to this choice? Instead of, what's the next rung or milestone or achievement? Ask, what am I optimizing for money, time, energy, meaning? Try this gentle exercise. Think about a successful day, not a career. Ask yourself, how does my body feel? How present was I? What didn't I have to recover from? That's data. That's valuable information you can use to ascertain what matters to you and what is your definition of success. Here's another reframe. Success is not what expands your resume. Success is what expands your capacity to live. Releasing comparison and should-haves. Comparison gets louder when you redefine success. Because medicine trained us to measure ourselves constantly. When we slow down, pivot, or choose differently, we may feel behind, even when we're aligned. That's the voice of should. I should want more. I should be grateful. I should be tougher. But should is rarely wisdom. It's inherited pressure. Redefining success requires trusting your own metrics, your own instincts, even when others don't understand them, especially then. Success that can hold you. Redefining success after medicine isn't failure. It's maturity. It's realizing that the definition of success that got you here may not carry you forward. You are allowed to evolve. You are allowed to change metrics. You are allowed to build a life where success doesn't require self-abandonment. The white coat can still matter. Your training can still matter. Your work can still matter. But success doesn't have to cost you yourself. So think about this question. What definition of success would actually support who I am now? You don't need the perfect answer. You just need the courage to stop using the wrong one. Thank you for listening. Until next time. Thank you for listening to the Mindful Practice podcast. If today's episode resonated with you, you can find free burnout and career clarity resources at pinnaclebusinessacademy.org. And if this podcast supported you, please consider subscribing or sharing it with a colleague who might need it. Remember, you are more than your white coat. You are not broken, and you are allowed to evolve. Until next time, take care of yourself, not just your role.